Good evening, everyone. How are you doing out there this fine day? It is time for Survival Saturday, and tonight's topic or today's topic, depending on your time zone, is what's a prepper garden? And how's everybody doing out there? Howie was going to try to come up here. I sent him the link, so we'll see whether or not he shows up or whether he's out busy gardening because it's only 5 o'clock for him there on Victoria Island. All right. So now let me jump over here to the comment section. And another one came in there. So first one in was Walt Rogers, then Phelan Clan Wolf. Oh, okay. And Phelan is, if I don't know if you know or not, Phelan was one of my scouts. He is now working as the maintenance chief up at Camp Wolfboro in California. And he goes, all the troops have left, so it's kickback time. And he was the second one in. And then Mark Chef Tech was the third one in. Tammy was fourth. Diana 2 was fifth. And I'm going to lose some numbers here. Seabass came in next. Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. CR from north of the border, and which is creative redundancy. Sue Mees here, I believe, also from north of the border, or close to it. And from north of the border is Lewis. It's the Marshmallow Man. There's something similar going on next across the street there with my daughter. The rabbits kept getting out, and they finally said, let them out. Well, the rabbits haven't touched the strawberries that they had planted. They just planted a bunch more strawberries. They ate something that I can't remember what my daughter said it was. But, yeah, it's, the deer aren't the problem over there. And something's been taking out her chickens. She had all the chickens locked up and put a cover over the door to the hen house, and something got 2 of them last night. So I may be sneaking out there tonight with the appropriate stick and reaching out and touching them from 50 feet away. All righty. So what is a prepper garden? Well, as opposed to a regular garden, there are several things that help define what a prepper garden is. Hey, Mother Garden Club. A prepper, I'm just thinking here to say it just right. A prepper garden is both a long-term and, an essential. It's not as diverse, generally speaking, as a regular garden where you got several different, types of tomatoes, you got different types of cucumbers and stuff. Generally picks on the most survivable type of crop. And so let's look at some pictures here, and I can explain things around here. All right, so this is kind of a prepper garden in a city. It's sort of like a food forest. All right, I'm Brenda's here, Duncan 1900 Homestead. Lee is here, Cold War Prepper. And a prepper garden has a lot of trees in it. And so here's one. You got a bunch of trees and the bushes and stuff that are growing up that provide food. You got orange trees in the back. And then you have the other stuff growing, the squash and the other stuff growing around on the bottom. Here's one that's sort of in between a prepper garden and the other one. You notice they got several trees here, at least, that you can see here. And then they're setting up in rings of food growing around it. This is, more along the lines of a food forest type setup on it. They have some trellis work back here. So basically you can follow the steps of a food forest So you have your overstory tree, your really big trees, your shorter trees, your shrub plants, like include berries and stuff. Then you have your, I can't pronounce it, herbicous layer and your root layer. You have ground cover, which would be your strawberries and nasturtiums and stuff like that you can eat. Then you have your vining layer, which would be like grapes. Some squash will vine up trees and up fences and stuff. Cucumbers, cantaloupe will vine up fences and stuff as well. And let's see, I'm just jumping back here to the side chat. Make sure I think Tammy loves her food for us. Ada Near is here from across the pond. And apparently, I'm not sure if Mark can get his email up there, but I sent him the link too. But Tammy, there's the link if you want to come up. And so basically, a prepper garden is, has stuff that is long-term in case you can't plant that year. Trees, a lot of trees, orchards, fruit and stuff. You should have other things like blackberries, blueberries, raspberries and stuff that'll keep growing if you have to be away from it for a while, and they will still provide food for you. So let's go on to the next one here. Then we're going to talk a little bit more. This I really love. I mean, you first you look at it like, what the heck? But you start looking, you can count a bunch of different trees in there and shrubs. And then you got fence work up here with vining squash or grapes, or kind of hard to tell what that is. I don't see what on there. And so you got a bunch of vining plants up there. Over on the right, you have more vining plants. And here's Mark. Come in. And you got more vining plants over here. You got, looks like they got a little, actually a greenhouse, more like a hothouse. It looks like little windows in there and stuff like that. But this one here, it's just in the city. And it's got a bunch of trees and stuff growing around. And over next to the neighbors, they got some, over on the upper left here, it looks like at first I thought it might be an evergreen type tree, but I'm not sure. And so, but yeah, there's, you have a lot of stuff in there. And usually someone looks over the fence and they go, oh man, this place is over. Okay, I'm not having enough of that.
Sorry, I'm doing that for CR just because,
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't on last night doing sausage, peppers, and onions, but now I'm doing baked potato, onions, and porterhouse.
Yeah. All right, Kaylin's in here. And Kaylin points out, include perennials and perennial herbs and stuff. Yeah, my wife has Moon Over Miami's here too. Yeah, all right, hang on here. Most of my hardy plants here are strawberries, rhubarbs, and chives. My wife has some rosemary, thyme, some sage, plants that have been years and years and years and years old. She has some perpetual parsley and basil, and of course, I just lost the name of it. It's one you plant around tomatoes to keep it from keep the tomato hornworms away and keep the bees very mellow and attracts the bees. Oh, I can't think of it right now. Suzanne Glaze in the house. Oh, geez, has the little purple flowers, and you can make a tincture out of it. You got to be careful; you don't want to overdo it.
Lovage?
No. Shoot.
Is it in the mint family?
No, it's not mint. It's not dill. It's shoot.
Definitely not parsley. The deer love parsley.
Yeah. Borage, there it is. Yes, borage. Thank you, Kaylin. I've talked about it enough. Kaylin remembered that, But yeah, borage will mellow out the bees so much. You can go out there and you just kind of like, come on, get off that flower, and they won't even bug you. They're just so mellow after they've been sucking on that stuff. Yeah, it has kind of a purplish flower. Sometimes they'll have on the same plant, they'll have kind of a white flower and a purplish and a mixture. But yeah, borage is really good. But you know, she has a bunch of plants that's year after year after year. She doesn't have to worry about planting new ones. Oh, her pomegranate, and then of course all the trees and stuff that she has there in California. Got a Granny Smith, got a Fuji apple, got a Blenheim apricot, got a different type apricot, got Bing cherry and another one. I can't remember what it is. She can't even remember what it is. She got a complimentary cherry tree for it. Then we got 2 different types of navel oranges, some other type oranges. We have like 4 orange trees. We have a lemon tree that came back from a real bad freeze, froze down to the rootstock, and came back before a couple of years before we bought the place. And that thing puts out grapefruit size lemons. Of course, it also has thorns on it that are like a stiletto knife. You know, you reach in there, it's like, ah! Yes. That song comes to mind every time I start naming off all the herbs and stuff my wife has. Good song. And I remember that from, when I was little. Okay. All right. So my wife, I'm not sure what the grow zone there is. It's in the San Francisco Bay Area. You look out the kitchen window, or not the kitchen, the living room window. It's the kitchen window 2 blocks away at my parents' house. But you look out the kitchen window, you got kind of a hill in the way. You look over the side and you can see out where the mothball fleet used to be by the Benicia Bridge. My grow zone here is zone 5. Depends which map you look at. 5A, 5B. But yeah. Joe's here, Garden State Gardener. But boom! And there's Tammy.
Hey, Tammy.
Utah Mike's in here. He's been out. All right. You're excused. You've been out gardening, Utah Mike.
Hey, I just put the coyote away after 9 hours of ripping out pine trees and cutting 4 acres of assorted weeds and grasses.
Yeah, I saw your little note there at the first comment in the side chat there about tearing out all them pines.
So now I'm out there. I brought a 50-pound bag of sunflower seeds that I picked up at the store for like $20. I know the moles and the mice and the birds will probably get about 80% of them. I'm debating whether I want to move my giant drum of fuel out of the way and try to get my my tiller out, or I just want to leave the grapple on the front and just drag a bunch of dirt out and just sprinkle them in and then drag over it. And
yeah.
Plus, I got a bunch of acorn squash seeds.
You have a rotor tiller, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of buried in the. It's behind a 55-gallon drum right
now.
Oh,
it's okay. You got the tiller attachment for it. When you said tiller, I was thinking you had a walk behind.
I got one of those too, but not for 4 acres.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go to use,
I brought 3 acorn squash from my squash I got from a local store, one of my Mennonite stores, and I brought a jar of seeds. So I want to randomly put those around. I don't know if they do better in a little bit of shade, a little bit of sun, a lot of shade. I have wet areas, dry areas. I just want to put them everywhere and do a rogue vining acorn squash. I'd love to come back here in like August and have like just squash hanging from pine trees everywhere. That would be cool.
One of the things that I noticed last year, across the street when I did the irrigation pipe, I got a 4-foot diameter piece of corrugated pipe going up and down where the ditch makes a 90-degree. So the pipe comes in this way and goes out this way, and I got the 4-foot diameter pipe vertical around it. Well, corrugated metal pipe isn't watertight. You know, where it's a spiral. They take a sheet of it and it's kind of spiraled together as it goes. So you have this seam going around as it goes up. Well, the water travels up then, and it leaks out into the surrounding ground. So the area out around that, when I had the height of it cut down, the dirt cut down around it, it was, you know, leaking out everywhere. Sunflowers out there were off the friggin' hook because the soil was wet all the time, and it was like a food forest of sunflower seeds out there.
Cool.
So I got to go out there and check it again because I brought a bunch of dirt in, but I tried rototilling to mix up the existing dirt where seeds were at to bring it back up to the surface to try to get more sunflowers up there. So I got to go out there and check, see how it's doing. Butternut squash overperformed for you last year. My daughter, the butternut squash she planted the 1 year lasted her 14 months in the basement from the time she harvested it. So, but one of the things that, yeah, one of the things when it comes to the, I'm looking at I got that big monitor over here on this side of what you see there next to us. When you're planting a garden like that, the trees you want, you know, you want trees, you know, depending on where you're at. If you're in a suburban area like this photo here is, I recommend dwarf or ultra dwarf trees. We got some ultra dwarf Meyer lemons, tangerines, and something else. They still produce a lot of lemons and tangerines and stuff, but they're in a smaller space, so we can put more trees together. We got several dwarf orange trees, several dwarf lemon trees, ultra dwarf lemons, ultra dwarf tangerines. We had it was supposed to be a dwarf apricot. Turns out it's a semi dwarf, and but you know so you can get the more trees you can get in there that are, it gives you a variety of food as well. That way you can have more. Okay, here's one. Yeah, my wife's Granny Smith and Fuji were planted too close together, and she kind of tries to, you know, keep them from intermingling. She goes up and prunes and stuff, but they are so friggin' overloaded. She keeps telling me, no, don't buy one. I wanted to buy her a orchard ladder, the three-legged orchard ladder with a third leg you can put into the tree area. You can get up there and actually do work on it. And she's always not sure. I think the neighbors across the street had to put their horses somewhere else as the construction is going on there because I didn't see the construction company put up a fence in all the photos my wife sent over. They should have put a fence up to replace, you know, what they took down. And they had 4 Shetland ponies over there, and they pigged out on apples all the time. And
that's some happy ponies.
Yeah, there's good. The Michigan cherries usually are ready about 4th of July. They estimate they'll be ready next week. They're a month ahead of ripening. It's unbelievable.
Oh, it must be global warming. Yeah, I had to go there.
No.
Yeah. Hey, Northern Girl Hobbies, how's it going? Northern Girl Hobbies came in on your side, Tammy.
Oh, nice. I can answer this for Diane. The cheapest raised beds I did, I went and got cedar fence posts and used those to make raised beds. And they also last long because they're cedar.
One of the other ones that last long but aren't pretty, but they last. You find a company that does remodeling, and when they pull out the fiberglass bathtubs,
oh yeah,
boom, raised planter bed. But what I do, Diana, is I got I got a distillery 5 miles away, and they get in shipments of pure, well, not quite pure, 196 proof potato alcohol. So I go up there and I buy those. It's 48 inches by 40 inches by about 4 feet tall, and IBC tote. And on some, I got on some of my videos over on Camp Patton. You look at the you'll go to the, I think there's actually a playlist for IBC totes and stuff.
What do you pay for them?
$60.
I hate you. Everybody around here wants like 100 to 150 a pop. If they had food, if they were food in there before, or some kind of a food-based, water liquid. But the chemical ones, they about give those away.
Yeah. Well, see, since these have the alcohol in it, they are sterilized.
Oh yeah.
And so I can use them for well, the ones that had the pure potato alcohol are sterilized. Now they also mix some with either lemonade or some cherry flavoring for like Mike's hard lemonade and some of the other flavors. They make that and they ship that over to the other side of the state, over by Boise, over at Payette, to their facility over there, and ship stuff back and forth between the two of them. And those I can't use them for drinking water, but I can use them for non-potable water. I can use them for rainwater for watering the garden. I can just put dirt in them and make a raised planter bed out of those. And that's what I'm doing with a bunch of them. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Happy Mac is in the house on your side as well. And so actually, all right, let me go in here, cover to the next slide here. There we go.
That's why
There's another one.
I got a lot of 55-gallon drums that had windshield washer fluid in it, the concentrate, which is literally a little bit of water, alcohol, and some blue dye. And I just rinse them out. I don't use it for potable water, although right now I have 2 here at the cabin I'm using for stream water. I filter it, heat it, and just use it for dishes in the shower. Yeah. But yeah, because they just had alcohol in it, so, and they're blue, so the white ones I used to be able to get from bleach, but they grow algae inside if you don't cover them up or.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so this picture here, if you look over on the left, you can see some sunflowers up there, but you look at these big leaves, and I'm not sure what type of leaves those are. And it looks like that's a vining plant in there, so it might be some vines of some sort of thing like zucchini or something growing up the sunflowers and everything else. They got pomegranate tree right here in the middle, and it looks like they got I can't think of the name of it right now. The gourd, you cut it open, get the seeds out of it.
The loofah?
Loofah, yes. And I see nasturtiums down below. I see daisies. I see other things around, other trees and stuff. Oh, that looks like a fig tree in the back there from the bark. Mm-hmm. That looks like a fig tree in the back.
I see some marigolds. Those are great to put in between your tomatoes too.
Marigolds down here. Yeah, I see them too, down there. Yep. And then they have a lot of pots too as well. So predicting a decent year for fruit. We'll see. Okay. When I get to the list, ask me about the fruit on the trees I just bought. When I get to the list here. But yeah, so this one here, this is a friggin' forest. And oh, wait a minute. Are those Granny Smith in the back here? Above this metal arch here?
It looks like green apples.
Yeah. Pomegranates. You got a fig tree. All right. Okay, here we go. So this is what's in my orchard out here that is being for my prepper garden. I got a Chinese or Mormon apricot, a Montrose apricot, In the house, I have a Blenheim apricot dwarf in that came bare root that I got in a 10-gallon bucket, a 10-gallon pot from the nursery that the Chinese Mormon apricot came in. So I'm growing it indoors to protect it from the wind till it gets good roots and is able to go back out. I got a Red Haven peach, and on the Red Haven peach, I pulled off yesterday. I took my little pruning scissors out there, and I removed 38 peaches off of it, and it was in a 7-gallon bucket pot, whatever you want to call those that they ship it in. I took 15 off the Alberta.
I love Red Haven peaches.
Yeah.
Albertas are okay if you can them with some syrup, but those Red Havens, they're just good for eating and canning.
Yeah. I got a Parker pear and a Summercrisp pear. Both of these are zone 3.
Nice. Very nice.
I got Evans Valley cherry. Shoot. Hang on. I'm going to change the image here. Evans Valley cherry is zone 3 as well. I'm cheating. I got this. This is the PDF. If anybody wants it, this is from Town and Country, and this is fruit trees for East Idaho. So if you're in a zone 5 or even a zone 4, when they go a little bit farther north up towards Rexburg and above Rexburg, yeah. So they got all the different ones here. And then I picked up yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it Thursday? No, I think it was yesterday. I ran back up to the, I stopped by it was yesterday. I stopped by Town and Country on the way back from Sam's Club, and I got a Zestar apple and a Sweet 16 apple. And those, I believe, are zone 3 as well. Let me see here. Apples. Sweet 16 is a zone 3, and the Zestar is a zone 3 as well. So those are some good ones. Now I have my rainbow chard growing out there. I haven't planted any of the Swiss chard. I just I like the rainbow chard and Swiss chard are very, very, very similar, but the rainbow chard, the grandsons like it because it's colorful, and the chickens and the rabbits eat everything else extra that I can't eat, and my daughter can't cook for her kids. Whoa! Holy macro!
I may need to go to Walmart.
Yeah, it depends which Walmart store too. Yeah. Town and Country, for 3 weeks they had a back order for fruit trees. They had a 54-foot semi come in, and it was packed front to back. And it wasn't just packed. The trees were set to lean, and they had them stacked 3 high in there. So it was basically if they were all standing, there'd be 150 feet of trees in 7 and 10 gallon pots. Let's see. I'm just trying to look at the things here, but the thing I have noticed for these good cold hardy trees, in 2 years they've gone up 120% in cost. The $75 or the $73 one I was looking at is 138 or 176 per tree.
Whoa. I'm reluctant to put any fruit trees into the property here this year because I have no fencing and a lot of deer, and I'm not here all the time at all.
Well, you know, if you eat like cherries, save the pits, or you eat apples, save the
Seeds.
seeds, scatter them in your forest. Now, you're going to say, "Well, Tammy, those aren't the greatest ones. They're not going to be true." But you can always graft to them later if they survive the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we're going to be doing
And-
with these trees here on the Chinese and on the apricots. We're going to graft from one to the other. So they're both self-sustaining. Same thing with the Red Haven and the Alberta. We're going to graft from one to the other so they're covered. And the same thing with the Parkers. We got two Evans Valley's cherries because they're self-pollinating, but I got two of them, so they're going to pollinate each other anyways.
Anyway, yep.
And
That'll make a bigger crop.
yeah,
Even if it's self-pollinating, if you have two, the more pollen, the bigger the crop. And it's just the way it is.
yeah. So the we'll probably do the same thing with the Zestar and the Sweet 16. What we may do, I got to talk to the staff sergeant when she gets up here. Make it 2 more of those, and here's why: because their rootstock is Zone 3 rootstock,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll graft some of the Fuji and some of the Granny Smith to them.
Yes.
And so my wife will just, when she's coming up, she'll go out there and she'll cut a bunch of them, wrap the cuttings with wet paper towels, stuff it in a garbage bag, drive it up here, and we will graft either the night that evening when she gets here, or early the next morning we'll graft.
Yep. Perfect.
And so with these trees and stuff like this, these will produce without me doing anything to them. And there are several garden channels out there saying, don't prune your trees anyways. I've always found you need to do a little bit of pruning just to keep the air flow.
I like to direct them and get the sunlight. I like the sunlight down in.
Yeah.
Most trees you need to prune to get a better yield at them if you want to do that. If you just let an apple do its own thing, yeah, you'll get great apples a few years, and after that, they're terrible because most of them are in the shade. They don't get enough airflow. So you got to keep those pruned. And is it pear? No, peach trees. You got to cut.
Yeah.
You have to cut the main stalk. Once it gets to a certain point, you cut the center main stalk, so it stops growing up and it grows out. That gives you the full sunshine in all directions, like a satellite dish.
The like Utah Mike says, yellow jackets and birds getting fruit from the trees near me. What we did when the trees were smaller, we had all these CDs from AOL and Net Zero and all these
hang them from the trees.
And we just hang those free discs we receiving as junk mail. We saved them and we just hung them in the trees and drove the birds and everything else nuts. All right, I think I got 1 or 2 more here on it. Okay, and this is what I was wishing Hallie was in here. And Hallie just did a couple videos on the common space gardening, but guerrilla gardening. So guerrilla gardening is one of the things with guerrilla gardening is you're tossing seeds out there everywhere. You go to the city park, the areas where they got trees and stuff, you toss seeds and plants out there of stuff that grows in the shade. You have a national park or a state park or a regional park in your area where they got hiking trails. You go on the hiking trails, look around, nobody's around, you go off and you start tossing stuff off trail. You create gardening everywhere.
I do that. We have a linear park. It's called a rail to trail, where it used to be a railroad bed that they have paved over, and you can use it for biking. It actually goes from one side of the state to the other, and it goes north to south in several areas. And the part that is closest to me, when I walk on that, I throw out asparagus seeds that I have soaked. I throw out black walnuts. I throw out those cherry seeds that I've saved in my refrigerator. All sorts of things that I collect from other places, I throw out in that linear trail. In the open sunny spots, I just seed it, and everybody's like, why is there so many black walnut trees along here? Why is there so much of this? I don't know.
Why are
Yeah.
there tomatoes? Why are there tomatoes growing down by the stream?
Well, I don't know. I only do stuff that will come back year after year.
Yeah. If you
Squirrel pie. Yeah.
you have squirrel problems?
They call that mincemeat pie.
The
Squirrel pie.
cherry tomatoes. If you leave any
prolific.
cherry tomatoes on the vine, you'll have cherry tomato plants growing there the next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So guerrilla gardening is you're being, like guerrilla warfare. You're going out there, you're planting for survival later on. Howie says a lot of the national parks, national forest areas are best for that. Common space areas like along the trail, like everybody walks and stuff. You plant stuff there like that. Howie was in one of his videos, trying to think, this last summer. I think it was around August. He had planted a bunch of cucumbers and what was else? But basically, vining was, and he'd go out there. Oh, get up the tree, and then when he got out there later on, the trees were full of squash and cucumbers and stuff like that. And he's climbed up in the tree and he's harvesting up in the tree, and people are walking by and they don't even see him up there harvesting. He's got his bag and he's harvesting cucumbers and stuff like that, and they don't even see him.
No.
And you don't have to
water, look up.
Do anything. Just let them go. If they survive, they're good. And then you save those seeds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah.
Just, you've eaten an apple along the trail, plant the seeds.
Now, Howie was talking about common space. I think he was talking on the streets. So they got the curb, a quote green space, and then the sidewalk. And he went around and planted a bunch of fig trees in that green space. The homeowners can plant anything they want in front of their house in that green space in front of their house.
As long as somebody doesn't weed whack it or run it over with the lawnmower or rip it out, you're okay.
Yeah, but he'd tell the people, "Hey, I'm planting fig trees here. I want to get fig trees on the island here." And everyone he talked to was, "Yay, yay, yay, figs!" Now,
always amazing.
Yeah, gifting gardening is a different way of doing it. And that is if you get to know your neighbors around, or you hear someone's trying to figure out what sort of shade tree to plant, go visit them. Hey, you got ultra dwarf, which are small, not good for shade. Dwarf, for shade. Semi-dwarf and standard are good for shade trees. You got apples, apricots, pears. You start listing off all the food, and they're going, yeah, you plant them as a tree, and you get food from it too. You want one? I got a little seedling for you. And you gift trees to people. Hey, Denise, how's it going? She's in on your side. I can't do any back. You see non-native grasses from horse packers. Yeah. I think that's the last one I got on that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we lost Mark.
No, you didn't.
No, we lost Tammy.
Wow.
We lost Tammy. Uh-oh. Maybe her boys all got on the computer, used the Wi-Fi up, and she got bumped. Now, Denise, or who else is out there on her side? Happy Back, is it still going on Tammy's side? Is the live stream going on Tammy's side? Let me know. It should be. It should be that she just lost connectivity here for a minute.
Her phone might have died.
Yeah.
In which case, we're about to hear the Red Baron.
Yeah. I love a garden like that. I grew up climbing trees. I grew up too I was a little tyke, younger than my grandsons, in 1960. The house that we moved to from Glendale, California to Martinez, California, had two Blenheim apricots on it, and I'm not sure what type of apple tree it was. I believe it might have been a Granny Smith. Here she is back. And as kids, even into our teens, we climbed those trees. Yeah. Glenn's here. How to garden. Woo! And so, yeah, and that's the thing too. If you get a good tree and you shape it right, the kids can climb up to get the fruit that's high, the high fruit that's not easily accessible. And I know that's what's going to happen with. Oh, that reminds me. With the trees we got now, I have to go out there after this live stream. Today I planted 5 jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. I planted 5 cantaloupe. What variety, I don't know. They're big monster ones because I saved the seeds from one of the neighbors here in town. They gave my daughter a bunch of them, and she gave me one of those, and I saved the seeds. And I had let's see, out of 12, I had 10 germinate. So I've had those seeds for several years too. So I got 5 more to plant after the live stream, but I also need to go out there because the Zestar and the Sweet 16 have little apples on them, and I need to go out there with my handy dandy Fiskars garden. This thing is the coolest thing. It's serrated, it's scissors. This side here is a straight flat knife. This is a serrated knife, and you got the scissors. I love this thing. It's great. It's really great for tomatoes. Reach in, so when you just go and collect your tomatoes too. But I got to take all the fruit off of those because we want it to put all its energy into roots, not into fruit.
That's like pepper. That's where I learned when everybody goes to the store and they buy look, this bell pepper plant already has a pepper on it, and they plant it. Guess how many peppers you get out of it? 1. I buy it. Well, I don't buy it. I plant my own. As soon as they start little flower, I let the flowers go. And as soon as they get little tiny peppers, you're in the mulch pile. Nip them off, and that plant will double in size in about 2 weeks. And then you start picking them early, and then it just goes haywire, which is great. Same with tomatoes. You always pick the bottom leaves below the first set of tomatoes. All the energy goes to the first set. When that one's pretty much ripe, trim the next bunch of leaves because you already got another set coming. Yeah. And then trellis them way up, which mine are like 8 feet trellises right now, and they're only up 3 feet. But
look, I can just tell by Utah Mike's comment, he has one of these things are razor sharp. I got these over at, it was either Sam's Club or it was at Home Depot, a 2-pack, the regular pruners, hand pruners, and this. And they both have belt sheaths for them. So, let's see here.
Who makes that? Is that Fiskars?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I have a set my wife bought me. I just haven't, I got one of those. I just haven't yet. I just grab the kitchen, go out there and nip what I nip.
Yeah, and it's for a prepper garden. You're looking for stuff that all right, seasonal stuff: pumpkins, butternut squash, zucchini, crookneck squash, patty pan, stuff that you plant year round. If you don't pick everything, guess what's coming up there the next year? Plants again. So if you have I know several people that have a vacation property cabin where they go up and they go fishing or they go hunting or they go up and spend a couple of weeks up there with the family and stuff, and they usually don't do much with it. I got them to plant apple trees up there and peach trees and apricot trees. And I tell them, if you're going to plant it, though, you got to make a cage that goes around it. Most of the guys I knew that were doing this were construction, and the concrete wire that goes in the base of like for a foundation or whatever, that stuff comes in rolls, and you get that. And I mean, there is not a deer alive that can get through that stuff. And they make a big old cage out of it, drive several posts in, put it on there, then wrap it one another, and it's just 5 foot wide. And then they put one up even higher, so they don't try to climb up to get over it. It makes it too high for them to climb. They're like, heck no, I ain't climbing that. And gives the tree a chance to grow big enough to sustain produce fruit and be able to sustain itself against the deer and other animals after several years. And froze. And again, tell them, plant like cherry tomatoes, and what is it? The beefsteak tomatoes love to seed themselves as well.
Yes.
And you plant that stuff, and then you start planting your herbs out there, and you get a pot with decent sized plant in it. You go out there and you plant it in the ground. You do a couple of years at home, make sure it's big and strong. You take it up there, you plant it in the ground, put a cage around it for a little bit. Make sure it's well situated and rooted so it's strong, and you can get your prepper garden going at your vacation home. That if something happens and you have to, all right, folks, we're moving to the cabin. You have food growing up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what's Seabass say? Actually, my mom got mad at my grandmother for using the kitchen tools, kitchen stuff. Let's see. Dad planted a fruit tree for each of us as kid. Total of 5.
Right. Very nice.
Yeah. But dude, yeah, so a prepper garden sounds almost like a homesteading garden, which it kind of is, but you're going to limit numbers and stuff to ones that are that if you have to later on, you can expand it from. Mm-hmm. For trees and stuff. And the type of plants you have out there that are seeding, like, all right, we're gonna plant out cherry tomatoes over here, and we're gonna plant big beef or beefsteak or something else over there, and just let those, seed themselves year after year. If you have an area that is near a creek or whatever, where it's wet enough to sustain, begins with an A, has the little things on the top of it. Asparagus.
Oh, yes. Any ditch. If you have a ditch.
Yeah.
They like ditches. They like wet feet, but well-drained soil, but wet feet.
Yeah. And so you plant stuff like that you can let go. If you don't make it up to the cabin this year, oh well, everything's still going to be growing. There's still going to be food there when you go up there next summer.
Strawberries are another good one.
Yeah.
If you get them started, they'll just keep moving over and over and over. You have to thin them out. And
if you have a creek or a small stream or something, a little trickle of water constantly year round, blackberries.
Pawpaw. Mm-hmm. Pawpaw. Only tropical fruit that grows in North America.
Yeah. Who was that? Who is it? Courtney did Courtney have them on, or did you have them on? Was that what's his name from the Red Barn up there?
Nash.
All the trees.
Nash Nurseries was talking about pawpaws.
Yes, Nash Nurseries. Yes.
He was on. I saw him on with Dr. Paula. He's a friend of Dr. Paula's.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And he came on mine, but he didn't talk about the pawpaws too much. He talked more about other trees and stuff. And so, yeah, the better trees you have, the better plants, variety of plants that can grow without you there, and you spread them out in different areas so they don't impact each other.
And also when you're looking at your apple trees, make sure that you're getting a late season and an early season, because there's some that will produce in June and there's some that produce in the middle, and then there's some that don't produce until September. So instead of getting all trees that come on at the same time, get in a prepper garden, you want some early, some mid, and some late producers.
So we got up here in eastern Idaho, we're limited on our late, but you got late September, mid-October, mid-September, late September, early August, late August.
Yeah, see, spread it out. Like we have one that comes on really early. It's an applesauce. It's a little yellow apple. It's a yellow transparent. That's for sauce, and that comes on really early. And then you go all the way through the spectrum to Granny Smith. That's the last one that produces for the year.
Unless you're in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Well,
then you have apples on the tree practically year round, just like oranges year round.
Here in Michigan, when the snow flies, pretty much everything's gone but the crab apples.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta look something up here because somebody asked it, so I'm gonna look it up now here for you. Genus, California. Growing zone. So the Martinez is a 9B there in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, you can grow year round.
Yeah. I mean,
the only thing you can't grow is what? Bananas?
Depends on the part of the Bay Area. Certain areas, if you get into one area like down in Danville, it doesn't get as cold down there.
Microclimate.
Yeah, there's over 300 microclimates in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
You get up in Napa Valley, and you got grapes going bonkers. Well, they won't grow down in Concord, and they won't grow in San Jose. But you go south of San Jose down towards Santa Cruz, and they're growing again. Yeah. But yeah, there's there's a lot of stuff, and microclimates. This grow zone map says this, and you're like wrong, because we have this zone here, and you go over 5 miles away, and they got a different one. The funniest thing I love telling people about microclimates in San Francisco. So you got the San Francisco Bay Bridge going from San Francisco to Oakland. When 80 crosses over that bridge, and it's actually 80 and 580, they split. 80 goes north. And as it turns to go north, it goes through Emeryville. One side of the freeway on the east side in the summertime will be 100 degrees maybe. Get on the other side of the freeway, you're at 75, 70, 65. You get out by the toll plaza on the Oakland side toll plaza, you're at 65 or less. You go across the bridge and you hit South San Francisco, you better be wearing a parka. Because and most people think Mark Twain was joking. He said the coldest winter he ever spent was summer in San Francisco, because that fog comes in and it is an ice fog off the ocean. And you're muted, so just want to make sure you know you're muted.
I was agreeing. Damp cold is worse. The damp cold and the ocean. We have the Great Lakes effect here, which is like having an ocean on all four sides.
Yeah. And so there's going to be a lot of different type of plants you can plant out there. And if you have your cabin is out there and you have acreage, you can plant some. You can go in one area way out there, plant some mint. You can go over there and plant some, and if it will support them, you plant Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes out as well, because they stay underground.
Yeah, the rabbits love those.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. I've tried twice now. I've given up. The rabbits dig them up like as soon. They stand there waiting for me to walk away. Thanks, rabbit.
I found out I have rabbits out here. Lots of them. When I was cutting the grass yesterday, I was like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
As I see baby bunnies flying, running everywhere from the sound of the tractor, I'm like, "Oh, that's gonna be fun for my no, not flying everywhere after getting hit with the bush hog, running everywhere." I even saw I had a terrapin. That sucker was 12 inches across. He was running across the field. I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm so glad I didn't hit you with the bush hog. I might have gone over him, and he just ducked, and he got missed. But he was running crazy, trying to get down to the stream."
Yeah. Yeah. I just for a prepper garden, you start small, and once it's producing, then you can expand it as the land can support it. That's the main thing to do. Don't do everything at once. It's like, we're finally putting the trees in. Well, next year for sure, both peaches will be producing good because they were loaded in the 7-gallon buckets. The Sweet 16 and the Zester apples have a bunch on them too. They'll be producing next year. I'll probably still thin them out to just a few fruit and let them still push more on for their roots and stuff. But and the Mormon, the Chinese Mormon apricot one had one on it. I picked the one that only had one. There were some of them that were loaded, and someone took one that was. They got there before. They got the one that was absolutely loaded with all the apricots. And I'm looking, I go, okay, I bet they're going to leave all those apricots on.
Probably. And then that's it. They'll get 1 year and wonder why their tree never produces again.
Either that or the tree won't make it to the second year because it didn't get good roots into the ground.
And to remember, when you're doing this kind of garden, remember to layer. So plant herbs at the base for pollinators. Bring in your pollinators.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too. If you're putting out your tomatoes out there and stuff, the best thing we found for tomatoes is borage. Mm-hmm. It repels the moth that lays the eggs for the tomato hornworm, and it brings in all the bees.
Yeah, bees love borage.
And borage will die off, and also you'll have 3 to 10 times as many borage plants coming up the next year. So Ben's over acres just came in on your side.
Hello. Yes, taters, onions, and carrots. That's what our ancestors planted to get through the winter, to get through the starving time. You can always make something if you have taters, but carrots and onions. Those root crops, they store long. They'll get you through until you can plant something again when the spring comes. And be sure to have those spring crops like lettuce and radishes that come up in a couple of days. That'll help get you through the hunger times.
The other thing too that I didn't, I was talking to my sister's 10 years older than I am. Mm-hmm. Okay. And in the early 60s, we had a 3-bedroom house. My parents had one room. My sister and grandmother were in another room. And me and my 2 brothers were in the other room. And so my sister got all the stories from my grandmother growing up by Coeur d'Alene in the early 1900s. I'm talking she was born in 1899. So the early 1900s.
All of 1900s.
Yeah. And, in the 1900s and 19-teens. And so, and when I was talking to her, I said, did Gamma ever talk about, the winter squash? She goes, oh yeah, the butternut. And she listed off a couple others. Mm-hmm. And they would grow those, and into the root cellars those went.
Yeah.
And
my mom lived through the Depression, and she loves butternut, Hubbard, and acorn.
Hubbard, yes.
The big old blue Hubbards. She would love those because you could wipe them down with bleach, take them into some storage. It doesn't have to be cold storage either for those. It can be, relatively warm, and you can store those. And then I want to try them, but I don't have a long enough growing season. Seminole pumpkins, they say those things will last 2 years. Once you pick them and put them on the shelf, 2 years. But you need something like 180 days or something like that. It's a really ridiculously long.
Like here, for us to do that here, I would have to start in February, growing it indoor, germinating in February and everything else, and using one of those 7-gallon pots to get, and it just, all right, everybody, help me carry this outside.
And they're little squash. They're like this. They're not really a pumpkin, but that's what they call them. And they're just like that big around. And then the crust kind of forms on them. They get a real hard shell, and they're good for a very long time.
You better have a sharp knife and a steady hand to get those suckers open.
I haven't tried them. I just want them because they have such a long storage time. It's on my bucket list, but
probably just
see, that's the thing. Yeah, that house had one bath with an old cast iron bathtub. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. I got to bring something up here. Let's see if I can find it here.
You can roast it.
Someone else was asking about this. I'm going to try to bring it up here. See if I can find it here. Channel content.
You can get that squash cut in half and get the seeds out. You just throw it in the oven. Just put it face side down. A little seasoning in the bottom of the pan, and throw it in the oven for a while at like 300 and let it just steam itself to goodness.
We eat all our pumpkin seeds too. Pumpkin seeds are really good for you. They're a natural, we give them to the goats and to the animals because they're a natural dewormer for the animals. But we eat a lot of pumpkin seeds for snacks too in the fall.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to teach the grandkids to do, and myself too. I mean, I've eaten. I've gone this way and that way on sunflower seeds. I'll go, I don't want sunflower seeds. Then the next year I'll eat sunflower seeds. I'll eat. I'll get sick. I don't want any more sunflower seeds.
I like them in my granola. That's about it. I'm at the point now. I want my sunflower seeds shelled. And my boys used to go through so many sunflower seeds, and then I'd find these water bottles with the spit out husk everywhere. And I'm like, oh, throw them away.
Okay, so I'm going to share something here. This is my video. YouTube, this is my video from my channel.
What about apricot seeds? Are they good?
No, put it this way. The squirrels and the rats will not eat them. So there's something in them that they will not make them so they won't eat them. All right, let me make this big.
They have a natural cyanide in them. So that's why none of those things will eat those.
I don't think there's enough science to kill anybody. But
okay, well, first of all, you'd have to have a bushel to have any effect. Nobody's eating a bushel of pits. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, if you you can boil them and get with the stuff still, and get all the juice. The boiling will neutralize the cyanide in them too. So, but that's why animals don't. But you can, again, take them and plant them. Throw them out in the back 40 of your woods and see what comes up. Find a sunny spot and throw them out.
All right. So this is one of the Bing cherries, but look in the background, the IBC totes. I got the tall ones. I got the short ones. I also got 55-gallon barrels cut in half, which I've grown a lot of stuff in. And so you can see, maybe I move over to the side there. There you go. So where I've cut some of these in half and use them as planters as well, the IBC totes. And I'm just talking about what type that is. Let's move on down here a little bit. Go through the different trees. There's more. You can see more of the open tops of them. And I got some short ones in the back there. So yeah, I got a lot of them there, but I got some other ones here. Let's go through all the trees there. Down to the other side down here.
You have drainage holes in those or no?
Yes. They come with a 2-inch valve hole in the bottom of them.
Right.
And I leave that open. And when I take the tops and I turn it over, there's a 8-inch lid on it. I just screw that off. And I put in the bottom of them, I'll put milk cartons in there, and I'll lay some weed blocker over it. Well, the weight will crush the cartons down, but not completely. So they have a little channel for the water to drain out. There's cool. some of them down there, all the way around to those. But let me show you the other neat thing you're gonna like here. Let's head out to. All right, there's the looking at the. There's my Wando peas in 4 of the raised planter beds. And I
bet the rabbits don't hop in your beds.
No, they don't. And there's some of the short ones there and moving dirt around. But I want to go back out here onto the front. Oh, I got those are the. Hang on. Back it up just a little bit. There we go. I had 4 of these trays full of strawberries for free.
Nice.
I planted like 20 of them in my stuff, and the rest went to my daughter because she has a big open area by the juniper tree that she plants them in. Okay, so let's go on here. I got the boysenberries trying to come up there again. I got 4 pots there. It shows there's a leaf. There's the green leaf coming up. They got froze this winter. I forgot about them in the shop and then put a heat lamp over them. Ah, there's Daniel. All right, there we go. So,
what's with all the solar lights?
I'm doing work on the front walkway and stuff, so I just put them over there for the heck of it. I put them on the walkway so people don't trip and slip, especially in the wintertime. I pulled them all off this spring. Anyway, so I got
to make your plants grow at nighttime. What the hell is that?
It works. They're great. They're doing great. But so this one here, I can roll with the pallet jack. I jack it up, roll it into the shop for the wintertime. And now that the shop is getting insulated, it's going to stay a lot warmer in there.
Nice.
And
yeah,
so
he's using those lights to trick those plants into thinking it's Alaska where the days are even longer. That's what he's doing.
All right. So so those are some of the strawberries. The 2 here at the top are the ones that survived the winter. The other ones are some of those new ones I got that are already acclimatized to this. The 2 that survived the winter were actually from California. So, and then let's go over to the next one here. There's my Grand Rapids lettuce. I got 9 of them in that one going.
Grand Rapids is wonderful because it loves the cold. And that's a nice thing for a lettuce. They can get a jump start with those.
And then I got out in the front, I got 2 more out here. The far one has 9 strawberries in it. And this one I'm still adding some soil from the compost. I got all these half barrels. Probably not this year, but next year I'll probably fill them all up with the compost I'm making this year and turning over and stuff. And they'll probably be full of annuals, perennial, whatever the single seeding are for daisies, carnations, just a bunch of flowers out there.
That reminded me, if you're near a cattle farm, they have mineral feeders that look like these half buckets. You can get those really cheap from cattle operations too. So look for dairy farms and cattle. Yeah. And they have mineral feeders that they might sell you the buckets.
Well, some of them around here, just give them away. Well, you want some? Here's 20. You got to take 20 if you're going to take one.
Yeah. Take them. They work perfect. That's what I have in my garden.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. You said that.
So those are some of the strawberries I planted out there. But this is going to show it here. So I got 5 golden zucchini out there, and the other little spots out there are short stuffed sunflowers. And the sunflowers are doing pretty good. And let's take that across, coming back. Oh, and over here, there's one of the cabbages. The monster cabbage got too big for indoors, took it outside, and then we got a freeze.
Oh, no.
I have, there is a rainbow chard growing up in the one container next to it. And then I have my garlic. Freaking cutworms were in there eating the tops off the garlic.
Garlic?
Yes.
Anything,
It's the only pest I've been able to find in there. And when I tossed them out and introduced them to Mr. Cobblestone, the garlic started growing again.
But,
hey, they're Italian cutworms. But and so even any of these, I can roll these totes. These are going to be a little more tougher, but I can get them into the shop. And I got 3 more unused ones behind there. And so, yeah, there's a lot of there's another one I am filling. I can't. So yeah, I got a bunch of good ones there. And so the IBC totes, if you can find them, you can do it either. Come on, skip ad. Jeez, why does it keep showing the ad? And I get maybe a penny if 20 people watch the ad. So let me go ahead and stop that. The IBC totes, if you do them the 4 foot tall, I love those for the low growing daikon radishes. They can go down deep. The deeper carrots, they can go down deep. But you're not bending down on the ground trying to weed around them. You're standing up there chest height and you're going out there just weeding and taking care of them. Because on the let's see if I can show that again here. If it gets to it right here. Okay, let's go. I'm getting it set there. Okay, so on this side, these are a retaining wall to make this garden area here level. So down below, if I go, these totes are up 4 foot tall.
Nice.
Ooh, but
yes,
but the bunnies can jump from your retaining wall into the tub. Uh-oh.
Only the short ones. Only the short ones. And the short ones, what I put in there, I got the cages. I got the cages made out of the concrete mesh wire for the tomatoes. And so, I need to have I need to have some of the short ones around for the tomatoes, so they're 8 inches above the where I'm standing is where the soil level is. And so when they grow big, I can still pick them. And for the low ones, I pick them from the low side. So you're for a, those IBC totes are marvelous. Hey, I want to see if we're all sitting right. Oh, we're all saying, oh, no, I don't like that. IBC totes are great. Those totes.
Sorry, it's getting dark here. I have to use a flashlight.
And CR's in here, and you're making him hungry. Now stop.
I know he is. That's why I'm doing it. Well, I'm doing it because I'm hungry. I don't care about CR, but I care about CR.
No, that wasn't a garden ad, CR. That was a Best Buy ad. Both of those were Best Buy ads. The one was the new hair one, which I see a lot, and the other one was the Dyson air purifier that actually pulls and neutralizes formaldehyde out of the air from the paneling and stuff like that. And Steph's in the house. Woo! But I love those IBC totes for a prepper garden because you know, I tried to take a couple down to California. My wife said no. Then she kind of wished she had a couple down there, but she didn't want me to bring it down there, just to bring it back in a year or 2 or 3 years when she retires. But exactly. Oh, there is a cute one here. I got to talk about it here. The IBC totes. They took it. They cut a door in the front of it, left it about this high in the bottom, and took the connector rods off on it. Took another one, did the same thing, turned it upside down on top of the other, hose clamped it together, sealed the gap with flex tape.
Oh,
sealed it with flex tape on it. Drilled a hole in it, put a shower head in there and stuff on it, and then put one of those camping propane water heaters outside of it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Sounds like something somebody needs to put out on his by his cabin up there.
No, I already have an electric on-demand water heater, shower hose, 55-gallon drum, water pumps. Yes, I'll send you a picture of it. No, you're not going to see that on the feed here. It's a little dark right now. It's actually disconnected right now, and I'm working on. I got my hands on a lot of flexible half-inch copper tubing.
Ooh.
So we're going to be me and my buddy are going to be working on that for heating the entire 55 gallons of water, so it's not a 3-minute shower.
You know what I'm thinking? All right, prepping people. This is prepping stuff here. So let me exit full screen, drop that down. I've got something here for you. Okay, I got both the single and double of these years ago. I had the double in my shop in California. So I had to turn it into a granny unit for my mom. NOR Northern Tool. Okay, so you guys, I'll let you guys follow along with me as I do this. Northern Tool. I used to get a lot of stuff from Northern Tool. I'm looking at 55-gallon EAR. No, I forgot the A. Typing too fast, folks. Let's see if it brings it up here again. It used to have it. This is where I got these from. I got one here still. No, it's giving me the wrong type of barrel heater. No, 55-gallon wood stove. Try that. Oh, they don't have the parts anymore, or at least they're not carrying it. They used.
Oh, for making that double 55-gallon drum wood stove with the door kit and the barrel stack kit and the legs. Yeah, I saw that. That's a little large for my cabin. I have a small wood stove that'll kill.
But here's the thing: you have just a single one. You don't have to have it indoors. You can do it as an outdoor water heater, and you wrap that copper around the barrel.
Oh yeah,
and then around the stovepipe. You can have a lot of hot water.
I have better. I have a customer that is a truck stop. Guess what they get all the time? Bent rims, really big ones with dents in them. They won't hold the bead. That's what I'm cooking on here. I got 3. Yeah. He's like, take as many as you want. Just don't take the aluminum ones. I'm like, nah, I won't cook on aluminum. Yeah. But we're going to pick up a couple more and do the coils inside there just to make it a water heater.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do, and I saw this on a very old magazine, Mother Earth News issue. You can take that copper and put it inside your compost pit.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that will heat up and make your water. I mean, it's not going to make it super hot, but it will make it warm enough that you can have a comfortable shower.
Yep. You have to have a good compost that's ever going, so it's always like 140 degrees inside.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, wait, my steak is almost done. Here, I'll have to show the steak now. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Onions, tater. Yep, okay. When you're done here, I'm eating.
All right. Oh, I found the kits elsewhere here. So there's a double one. That's the one I had in the shop, the single one with the total kit with the doors. I got one of those still unopened, so I still have one here that I can make. But oh, you can. I don't believe it. Home Depot's selling them. Anyways, but they're on Amazon as well. So,
yeah.
But if you're doing a greenhouse, a gorilla greenhouse, if you will, that there will keep it warm. You know, for your prepper greenhouse garden. And CR's eating too.
We knew this was going to happen.
Oh yeah, he said earlier. He says I will be eating. You know,
Yes.
a couple times he's put that in there.
It is dinner time. In his defense, it's dinner time.
Yeah.
So for me, it's 20 after 9. It's way past my dinner time, but I got the fire started late, and it was still sunny when I put everything on there except for the steak, and now it's dark. So
it's not quite dark here yet.
Okay, get it up here. Okay, so yeah, we went along, but yeah, so a prepper garden, you know, it's sort of a combination between food forest and a homestead garden. And if you're in the city, you do what you can to do it. You do a backyard jungle. But
and guerrilla garden. Make sure you guerrilla garden. Plant those spaces that people. I mean, yes, there's going to be other people harvesting from there, but if you're planting it abundantly, you can still maybe be the one to get there first.
Yeah, and especially if you have a map of areas. Okay, this is where I planted this tree. This is where I planted that tree, and that just reminded me of something else here. Let's see if I can get that up here real quick. I got to do the other one. Hang on. Okay. Get into Home Depot here. Okay. So, bare root, dwarf, gold cod, apricot, cold hardy, 37.54 for one. Now, bare root ones are smaller, so you're not going to, they got to grow before you can start harvesting from. But this is also a dwarf one. You can put this in a half 55-gallon barrel, and in a couple of years, you'll have fruit.
And apricots are a wonderful survival fruit. And I cannot remember the name of this village, but there's a village in the Himalayas that survive on dried apricots and milk in the winter. And then go back to eating regular things. And they have a really long lifespan. So I've actually considered that apricots may be one of the superfoods.
So there's that one. And you got more park apricots. These are all bare root ones, and these are dwarf ones. So this is a semi-dwarf plum. Dwarf. I bought this one here. That's the one I got in the living room right now. But yeah, I was surprised of all what Home Depot had, and compared to Stark Brothers, one Stark Brothers sent me was a piece of. It was dead. They cut the main roots on it. They cut it back to this. It was the size of my finger round, but it was only that long. They cut it back at 3 3/4 inches. And they cut all the buds off the end of the little things to get it in, squish in this little itty bitty box. But yeah, so when the other apricot tree comes, I will be showing you guys as I plant it. But yeah, there's North Pole limb. That's strange. North Pole limbless apple tree, bare root, $40, 2 years old.
Oh, it's a columnar one, so it only grows in a column. It is designed for containers.
Yes.
And apartments.
Kaylin, you hear that? Designed for apartments.
container, so it doesn't. It's only supposed to take up a 2 foot by 2 foot space, so you can put it on your patio, and it only grows straight up. It doesn't branch out. So
Cool. Yeah.
they're called columnar trees. So they're designed to be a column and not tree shaped.
That's almost to the point of me thinking maybe I ought to get a couple of those. So I can put them out on the back patio so they get their frost hours, but I can grow them indoors.
Yeah.
For the wintertime, for the for whatever hours and stuff, in the springtime and stuff, the fall and everything for the grandsons, where get them into it. But anyways, yeah. So that's my mom used to order bare root trees and roses and everything else. The root stock and stuff, the way the roots are done and stuff on the ones here, like the one that I got from Home Depot here, and it had leaves on it already. It wasn't dormant and totally dormant and everything, but it had a good sized root ball on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing fine. So I will know after I get the next one, because I also have saved in my cart. I got some apple trees, dwarf apple trees saved in my cart too, because I know the wife is going to want them. And they're $37 for what's in the cart. So
nice.
It's going to once it grows, then I can also graft from it to the other apple trees too, and vice versa.
Yes.
Hey, Deb, how's it going? She came in on your site.
Hi.
All right, so that wraps it up here. Are you going live on Thursday?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I was gonna go this Thursday, and then school got out at 11, and I had a doctor's appointment, so I didn't think about that, and it was totally at the same time.
Yeah.
So we'll try. I'm gonna try.
All righty. So coming up on my side here, on Monday for my other channel, Camp Patton Family Compound, we're talking canning potatoes, and we're going to be talking the uses for all the canning potatoes. And if anybody's in the mitten, contact Tammy and see if she wants to trade jars for canned potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
All right. And then back here on GrayManPrepping on Tuesday for Tactical Tuesday, the topic is, what is your biggest prepping concern? Okay, so we're going to talk about what is the, because everybody has one thing that's, about prepping. They're kind of like, it's the main thing reason they're prepping, or it's the main thing that's keeping them from prepping, or it's a concern about prepping. Mm-hmm. Thursday night is the midnight ride. Everything on my site is 8 p.m. Eastern, except for the midnight ride. That's at 10 p.m. Eastern because it's midnight down in Rio. Friday night on Camp Patton Family Compound is Flag Day. So we're going to be talking about, we'll have open chat, but we're going to start off talking about the America that no longer exists. Next Saturday on Survival Saturday here is, this was recommended by this guy down below here. He sent me a thing on it. They are coming for your food / beer porn. So it's so everybody saying, oh, they're going to come and take your food and take your garden and do all that. Well, we're going to be talking about that, setting some truth and light to it.
Wait.
And
so
and budgets.
CR's coming for my food.
CR's coming for your food.
Here, wait. So make my screen big one last time.
Make your screen big one last time.
Make me big. Go ahead.
All right.
There it is. And I'm gonna eat big old fat big potato and onions and a steak. There
so also,
sorry.
Let me go ahead and stop this. if you have any suggestions for topics for me, for Tammy, for either of my channels, or for Tammy, you can either email Tammy or you can email me at camppattonfamilycompound@gmail.com. Down in the bottom of the description should have the email address as well. So we'd like to, hear, especially for canning. We need some more topics for Mondays for our canning collaboration on Mondays. Yep. So you go back in, you can check. Did you put all those into a specific playlist?
No, I need to go back and do that. I just have it in my regular.
I put them all into a playlist on Camp Patton Family Compound canning. So that's my it's in there.
And it's in my master playlist, but it's not in a set. I should do a separate one. I haven't thought about that till just now.
Yeah, so that way you can see what we've done already, and if you don't see the topic you want to talk about, send us an email.
If you want to hear it again, send us an email. We'll talk about it again.
Yeah, because some of them we tried to keep it under an hour or hour and a half here, but on Monday we tried to keep it under an hour because Cold War Prepper comes on after us, and we could have gone on for 2 or 3 hours in some of those. So anyways, so just an example coming up here just for Mondays for our canning collaboration. So this Monday is canning potatoes. Next Monday, the following Monday is canners. We're going to talk about different canners, old canners, new canners, dumb canners. What was that, Mark?
I said cool.
Okay.
Sorry, my mouth.
I'll get my baby out and show everybody my baby.
Okay. The following Monday on July 1st, no, not July 1st, on June 24th is Canning Science. We're going to visit the truth?
Uh-oh. Huh.
And we're not talking alphabet agency truth. We're talking real science.
To quote one of my favorite lines from a favorite movie, you can't handle the truth.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson to Tom Cruise.
Yep.
All right. On July 1st, the topic is low sugar canning. Oh, that's what my wife is doing right now. So it's playing with low sugar canning.
That's all you, Tammy.
And that's the last topic we have for canning, unless you guys start suggesting some of them, and then we'll just keep adding them to it.
Freeze drying for one. I can do a freeze drying one a little more advanced.
Okay. So so I've got topics for GrayManPrepping and Camp Patton up through July 6th. So if you want to as a topic, whether it's prepping, canning, gardening, whatever it is, send it to us and we'll address it, because we're not narrow-minded.
We're not scared.
We'll talk about it.
All righty, so we're going to wrap it up here now. Thank you, everyone, for coming in the side chat. Thank you, Tammy and Mark, for coming up here. I wish Howie could have made it in here. We would have gone for another hour if Howie had been here.
Oh, yeah.
I
can listen to him for hours. He has so much knowledge, and he's so wonderful about sharing it with everybody.
Yeah, and he put out another video today. So Food Forest Permaculture. I think great source if you want to know about food forest gardening. You were going to say something?
I said I think he did 2 videos today.
Yeah, I didn't get. Well, of course, I may have been outside, and I only get so many notifications stacking up in here, so some of them get bumped off. All righty, everyone. So as always, watch me freeze. As always, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill every month and plant a garden outdoors and indoors. See you around, folks.
See ya.